Good morning, Fillmore. I'm your host today with part of KDTV, and my name is Adrian Robledo with Diamond Realty here in Fillmore, California. And today I'm joined by Mr. Charlie Weiss, who is the head football coach and a academic teacher at Fillmore High School. How you doing, Charlie? Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on today, Adrian. It's always a great opportunity to talk about Fillmore High School and about the football program.
Of course, yes, and I know it's exciting, and especially right now, the sports season. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself. If I'm new to the Fillmore community and I'm getting to know the football coach a little better, what's that look like for my kid who's going to be doing football?
Absolutely. So what I hope that it would look like is that I'm passionate and energetic. I love football, and I love using football as a vehicle to help teach kids life lessons. But hopefully they can take on and become successful adults in the future. So if you're a parent or a fan, which we have a tremendous amount of them here in this community, I hope what it looks like is somebody who really loves what they're doing, who's very involved and provides a whole lot of energy on the sideline. In fact, I think if you were at any of the games this year, there were some times where I jumped just a little too high, I screamed just a little too loud, but I'm hoping that in doing that, I'm kind of showing how much I love doing it.
Right, you're passionate and you love what you do. That's important. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, Charlie. Where are you from?
So I actually started here in Fillmore, and then when I was about 3 years old, my family moved to Moorpark, so I grew up primarily in Moorpark. And then when I was teaching and coaching at Moorpark High School, I fell in love with my beautiful wife, who's from Fillmore. And my parents actually met while teaching here in Fillmore in the 80s.
Oh, wow.
And so when my wife suggested that we move to Fillmore together, I said, of course, I'd be happy to do it. And then, of course, when the job came up, it seemed like kind of all pieces fell perfectly in line there to be able to make it so that I could stay closer to home,
Right.
kind of come back into the community that I was familiar with, and then also, be part of football in a bigger way.
Yeah, that's awesome. Staying local, and I know that's one thing that Fillmore people always say, I'm getting out of Fillmore, I'm getting out of Fillmore. Then they go to a metropolitan area and they're like, you know what, Fillmore sounds pretty nice right now.
I love it here. I've been so happy since I was able to move back, and I've been so I feel so blessed to be part of the community again. People have been very supportive. Even in our 1-4 spring season, where a lot of coaches probably did a lot of trouble, I felt like the community really supported us and helped us through that weird spring here, and a lot of that led to our success this season.
Right, and I know reading up a little bit about your biography there is, and I'm sure we'll have that posted in the description so everyone can see. But you're not only just a head football coach, is that correct?
Correct. I do a bunch of other things here on campus.
Okay, so you're kind of a jack of all trades, a master of none, right?
Yeah. You know what? And I always say that if you're not the smartest one in the room, then that means you're doing a good job as a leader. So I'm involved in a lot of things on campus, but I'm always looking for great coaches, other great teachers to be able to come in and help us. And I feel really fortunate to be able to have such a great support staff, both in football and teaching at Fillmore High School. It's really great thing.
Yeah, I love that. I love how teachers are able to take different billets and job positions. Because that saying, I just learned the full amount of it. It's a jack of all trades is a master of none, but still always better than a master of one. So there you go.
I'll always take that.
So what brought you specifically to Fillmore High School? What would you say was your biggest drive towards Fillmore? I know you said you got parents and all that, but I mean, you stayed at Moorpark, right?
Right. I have a lot of connections here, obviously, so that's kind of sparked the interest. But I think what really brought me here was going through the process of applying once I knew the position was open, talking to people who were connected to the program, to the school, having an opportunity to speak with the interview panel, some of the former coaches, some of the current coaches. It seemed like everything aligned perfectly with what I wanted as a head coach. I wanted a community that had kind of involvement and support. I was looking for a place where we could build a strong program that emphasized using football as a vehicle that helps student athletes grow and achieve their own successes. And Fillmore, we fight way above our weight class. We may be a smaller community, but we have some unbelievable, superb athletes. We have an incredible community. We have a tremendous amount of resources. I felt like that could really be harnessed to build a lasting football program. And that was always my dream. I always wanted to, be a head coach and to make improvements to and help facilitate a really important, powerful football program. And I felt like Fillmore gave us a great opportunity to do that.
Oh yeah, tons of opportunity here, tons of it. And I know you said that you want to use the kids as their own vehicle to, go on and expand. Have you had any graduates yet to where you see their life story play out?
Yeah, so I mean, I started this last year in Finland, so I've only got one graduating class in Finland, but even the ones from last year, I hear a lot from. We have a football player, Cal Lukin, right now, in Michigan, he's the defensive player of the year for the league. He was awesome, and he's doing great things in college. And then, for me, I have some of my graduates from Moorpark High School where I previously coached and taught, and I get to see now go on and do great things. I have a couple of them who coached for me in the past, actually, players that came back and wanted to coach. And right now, I'm kind of watching the story of Jake London. I got to be his wide receiver coach at Moorpark High School, and he's got the potential to be one of the top 10 picks in the NFL draft right now, so he's kind of fun to watch.
Wow, good for him. And you. That's awesome.
Oh, that's all on there. He's incredible. I just get to ride the coattails and watch, which is fun.
There you go. And so, in terms of football, how has this last season been looking like for you guys?
Last season was amazing. I really believe that it will probably go down as one of the most important seasons in our school's history. I mean, we could go on to win multiple state championships or league championships, but the fact that this group had to deal with 3 years and 2 full seasons with unknowns and uncertainties, coupled with distance learning and 5 game sprint season, all the COVID protocols and things like that. And they had to be right, and they really stood in and let it happen. And, not taking it seriously, not be successful. And yet they rallied around each other, and the 17 seniors pulled everybody through to have a really successful year.
Right. And so, mentioning COVID, what were some of your big challenges with that? Being in football, and it's a very hands-on contact sport, and even transportation to and from games. How did that look like for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it really affected every aspect of it. I mean, from the standpoint that in our off-season training, we weren't allowed to be inside the weight room, because obviously indoor facilities were a danger. The fact that we had to integrate a whole bunch of COVID and health safety protocols and procedures into our practice routines. Luckily for me, we got to work really closely with our director of sports medicine, who's also our head athletic trainer here. She sits on the health committee here at the district. We have some really great people who helped us design multiple times over the last 2 years different protocols, different systems for checking. So when I first started here, we were doing the lines outside of practice where we had to scan each student in to check and make sure that they were underneath the temperature. They had to do their own self-scans to make sure that they didn't show any signs of COVID. It added a bunch of layers of difficulty just to get to the practice facility.
Wow. So a lot of hurdles, a lot of improvising for you guys.
A lot.
Now talking about, again, football, let's stay on the biggest topic probably Fillmore's going to ask. How is that Santa Paula Fillmore rival game? How is it coaching it? How is it playing it?
I have to say it's the best part of the job, right? People who haven't had the opportunity to be involved in it or just don't understand how incredible that game is, right? The sheer excitement and the energy that it creates. Literally thousands of fans who all bought tickets within a couple of hours of each other to get themselves out. They all have personal and family connections, usually on both sides, which is really amazing. And the game itself creates lasting memories, for a lifetime. Not only is it one of the longest running rivalries in the state of California, but it's definitely one of the most competitive rivalries too, right? Teams are so excited. A big part of it is just kind of getting them to recognize that it's not really any different than the other 9 games that played that season. They have to put them in positions that use the excitement and the energy and the nerves that they feel and channel those towards a positive and effective outcome. This year, I think the first drive was a really good example of that. We went on the field and kids fired up, so excited, which is what you want. Football is a high energy, high passion sport, but we gave up a big touchdown on that first drive and we went down 0-7. In a lot of ways, I think heartbreaking like that. But we helped them calm down, we put players in position to be successful, and then we went on a 57-0 scoring streak in that game, which was amazing. We shattered records. The game's been played 110 times since 1924, and we broke a record for the most points scored by a single team in the series history and the largest margin of victory in series history, which is truly something amazing.
Wow. Oh, I'm sure. I bet your team's proud of that.
Very much so.
Yeah, and I know, too, when I visited my friend down in Texas, and he lives a little north of Dallas, and a little town there called Salina, and he was on football out there, and everyone, they worked out together every morning. They were just running back and forth together at each other's houses, at each other's family functions, just really getting to know their families, which I really like. Would you say Fillmore has a lot of that, too? A lot of the players stick around each other and always hang out and have each other's backs?
Absolutely. It's truly a family atmosphere. It's one of the things that we as coaching staff try to help facilitate and build, and it's something that our community is uniquely capable of doing because of how close and tight knit the community is. It makes it a lot easier for the team to do it. But I also think, like you said, in Texas, that they take their football very seriously, and they have some very small town atmosphere that built into that. And we're lucky because we're one of the last kind of bastions of small town greatness left in Southern California. We are one single high school district. We don't have any kids that are, living in a different part of the state or different part of the county playing. We rely entirely on players who live within 5 square miles of our high school, and we've grown up playing together since they were 9. And that creates a very unique bond that is, in my opinion, way more important than what you see each other's faces and treating each other and bouncing around and things like that. I always would rather be with friends who are playing together.
Right. Yes. And I like how you mentioned that these kids were all playing together, since they were 9 and in grade school. Started off as, city school, keep going on till they get to the NFL. But have you seen where another student, let's say, transfers from Ventura or from Moore Park or from Simi Valley, and they come for your Fillmore department program or football program? And how has that transition been for them? Are they very open arms, or do they have to kind of earn their grit into their slot?
It doesn't matter where anyone comes from, whether they're a returning player, brand new player. Everyone's got to earn their spot on this team, and that comes, from our coaching staff, but also from players. They take everybody seriously and they hold each other accountable, and I think that's a good thing. We did have a few players who came back to Fillmore, so we had a few players who were previously at other high schools. I think we have a few from Moore Park, St. Bonaventure, a couple other schools who lived in Fillmore and had grown up in Fillmore and chose to attend another high school prior. And when they came back, they were welcomed as part of the team, but they certainly had to earn their time there, and that's a tough thing to do. But we also brought in a bunch of new players just now at the beginning of the second semester for next school year. We like to recruit on our campus, and we want to try to get everybody who wants to play football in the football program. And so we were lucky enough to add 27 new students in January to our program, which is amazing. And so, everyone has to do that, even the returning players. We say every time this time of year, nobody has a spot. You got to earn that spot. Now, we got some players who got pretty good likelihood of earning their spot back from last season, but everyone has to be held accountable. Everybody has to count. We say that every day, right? Everyone counts.
Right. I like that. And in terms of, again, how does your guys' off season look like for you guys? How does that work?
Off season is funny because you hear a lot of people talk about off season. They think that means that there's not a lot going on. I think the off season is probably more important than the regular season, right? Proper preparation for that performance. So we break our off season up into 2 parts. We just finished our enrollment cycle, which is giving anybody who's interested in training our strength and conditioning off season program, which is great. When I first took the job, there were about 50 athletes in the football program. So last season we had 7. And today, in 6th period today, there will be 90 athletes in that program, and that's going to include the 15 to 20 freshmen that we assume will probably playing in the team. So in this season and 1 calendar year, we almost double the number of student athletes in the program. That's the first thing.
You're breaking records, huh?
We want everybody who wants to be part of the program to be part of the program. Right? Like I said, it's a family. So if you want to be part of the family, then you can be part of the family. You just got to earn it and maintain good grades, good behavior on campus, and those expectations. We're happy to have them. That's the first phase.
Right.
The second phase is all about personal development. So we are actually 2 weeks into a 6-week speed and strength training program right now, where all of our athletes are getting personalized working out 5 days a week, and overall help them with their overall athleticism. So in addition to getting stronger and faster, we talk about how to train for and learn about injury prevention, and then we help students learn about exercise and nutrition science during that phase.
Wow.
And then our third and final phase starts in May, and that's actually the fun one. That's when we do some things that the community and fans come out and see. We'll have on-field workouts starting on May 2nd, getting ready for summer competition. We're currently signed up to do 3 different tournaments here in Ventura County. We've got a couple 7-on-7 and lineman competitions. There'll be spring and summer workouts, and a lot of it is building up towards something really exciting about doing it. The first time we've ever done it here at Fillmore High School, the first time I've ever done it. We're going to build up to a combine day. So right now the NFL is doing their combine in Indianapolis over the next couple of days. We're going to have a combine day June 17th here at high school. We're going to invite the community and family members to come out and see all of the improvements our players have made. So they're going to compete in things like the 40-yard dash, the bench press, the vertical jump, skills showcase, things like that.
Okay.
It should be not only a really fun event for people to come watch, but it's a great opportunity for our kids to be able to see what they can do.
Right. Right. Kind of welcome back, get that competitiveness back. We'll get in the ringer.
Exactly. So hopefully that'll build some momentum going towards the season that we'll go through phases in our offseason.
Right. And so in terms of the players, what are some key players? I know you mentioned some earlier who has the potential to be the top 10 pick in the NFL draft. So what are some other players we should be keeping an eye on right now? Because that's really exciting, especially coming from Fillmore. I know we had Chad Hansen, who was from Fillmore, but he went to high school in Moore Park. But it's still another great success story.
We have a lot of really talented kids coming back. So last year, based on our statistics from last season, our offensive production, we were one of the top teams in the state, actually. We set our records for offensive production and scoring. And one of the best parts is we got 8 returning starters on the offense. So out of the 11 guys, we got 8 of them coming back. So a couple of them to keep an eye on. One of them, probably the top guy to keep an eye on from a fan perspective, is Jared Uradell. He's the number 1 receiving tight end in the county. He was one of the top 10 in the state, and he's just a big game star. So in our homecoming game, he broke the single game record for receptions in the game at 10. And then again in the 126 rivalry game against Santa Paula, he tied the school record for the most reception touchdowns in the game with 3 of them. So he really shows up at big moments and shines. He's been fantastic during junior. And then him in combination with Matthew Montgomery, he is just incredibly versatile. I mean, this guy does everything. He played a little running back, a little receiver, a little quarterback. At times we would joke because he's also our punter and kicker, so he could do everything. I might as well give him the headset, let him call plays afterwards. He can clean up the locker room or something because he just does literally everything. He's pivotal for us for that. So those 2 guys are big names. We got 2 returners on the offensive line who I think are going to be studs. Ivan Becerra, who also has the highest GPA on the team, which in addition to being a fantastic football player, he's also a 2-sport varsity athlete with baseball, and he also plays basketball. And he has such a high GPA that he has some really good chances of being, if he chooses to, being a player who could go on and play at the college level. So him and Pat Villasenor and Kat Villanueva are all returning offensive linemen who have at least 2, I think there's 3 years of experience on their line.
Wow, that's a lot of commitment. 3 varsity sports at once.
Yeah. We have quite a few guys who are like that. A lot of our players, they play every sport that they can have access to. We highly encourage them to do that. I like them to be with us for speed and strength training, obviously, but being faster and being stronger is going to make you a better athlete in every sport that you play. So I love it when I can go and watch our guys play basketball, play baseball, be involved in soccer, things like that. It's really fun.
Oh, yeah. Especially the basketball and soccer, the running sports, the high interval. I'm sure that really helps you. I'm sure that really helps you.
Yeah, it does. And it gives me a great perspective to see some of our younger guys who I've gotten to see a little bit in practice or on the JV team last year. And so there's a couple of young guys I've got to see in other sports too. And it's helped me be able to evaluate how they might be able to play a role next season. So we have a couple of young guys coming back. Toy Cabral is an example of that. He's going to be returning next year. He was our leading tackler actually as a junior. And then we got a couple of young players who are going to be amazing in the future. A freshman named Anthony Sequoia, who played a little quarterback for us last year. We got sophomore receivers, David Jimenez, Ramsey Moreno, and Ivan Sandoval, who are all going to be returning sophomores who could play big roles as well. And I've gotten to kind of see them do other sports and do training in the off-season and really watch them grow. And it's so fun to see.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So for Fillmore football, what does the future hold for you guys?
I think the future is extremely bright here. I'm so excited about what we're doing here. The program has grown. The players are building something special. The community is overwhelmingly supportive of the team and the school. And we have big things planned with the program. I can't wait to see what next season brings for us. Our team, I think, is in a really good representation of our town. We don't have the luxury of starting from a position of privilege. And, we don't have the idea that we're always going to start from a better place, but our kids, they have to work harder, they have to face bigger odds, and most of the time they do that without, with real life struggles outside of school and football. And this makes them so much more deserving of good things. They learn to rely on each other, they hold themselves accountable, they support each other, and they celebrate each other's successes. So for me, I know that the future of the Flashes football program is a bright one because I believe the future of Fillmore's youth is bright, and I'm just fortunate to be part of a really great coaching and teaching staff here at Fillmore High School who can help them on their journey.
Yeah, no, that's definitely awesome. And I think when you have the supportive community, what else do you need? especially with the football or sports team.
Yeah, so we can do anything if we do it together.
Right. Yeah, and I know you're the varsity head coach. That's one of the roles you play, but I know you're also part of the special ed department. Is that right?
I am, yes. I teach special education math, and I fill a role as department chair at the special education department.
Okay. Yeah, and I know. Well, being a football coach and being a part of special education, have you heard of that? I can't remember their name, blinking out their name, but the deaf football team that are breaking records themselves.
Yes, yes. So we track their success throughout the school year pretty closely, and then in this weird kind of cosmic fate, I had an opportunity to go to a Los Angeles Chargers game towards the end of their season. And while my wife and I, our family were at the game, they were there being honored. It was such a cool moment to be able to see.
Wow.
Like I was saying, these kids they deal with a lot of things you don't see on Friday night. And so it's great to be able to see them have success and to make lasting memories together, especially in programs so deserving of theirs.
Right. Yeah, that's very awesome. I know the whole state's pretty much watching them pretty closely. Success. But just to reiterate something about Charlie too, he also won Teacher of the Year in 2017, and you best believe we're going to recognize that because that takes a lot of
Thank
work.
you. I appreciate that. We always say here, student athlete, the reason student comes first is that part's the most important. So I
Right.
appreciate you mentioning that, and I'm going to continue to use that to try to help support the kids.
Yes. Well, Charlie, I know you're busy, and I know you got to get back to your regular scheduled program there at Fillmore High School. So I just thank you for being a part of this and taking your time out of your busy schedule to tell us an update about the Fillmore Flashes football team and a little bit more about you. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Adrian. I appreciate your time.
All righty. We'll see you all on the next one, and you all have a good, safe, blessed weekend. Take care.